Chillbonger is the name, the only YouTuber with dual citizenship of Canada and Wakanda. Let's review this movie. You know I gave it an 8 out of 10, and you know I like this movie. There were a lot of redeemable qualities of it. But I have a prophecy to fulfill.
They have that girl power stuff, that's fine, okay, but if that's the theme of the movie where it's just shitting on men, I'll notice it and I'll identify it.
And let's just look for it. Okay. First of all, Yon-Rogg punching Carol. That was not shown on camera. We just saw the reaction to it. We got the cockpit joke. There's the biker dude while she was reading the newspaper. Give me a smile, Carol. Higher, further, faster was said. We saw that in the trailer. Only once, actually. Maria Rambeau also wasn't very taking kindly to the words young lady, you know. Her daughter, well, when the end of the movie happened, she was like, you know, maybe I'll be able to create a spaceship and we can meet halfway in orbit. You don't know that. And Carol kind of backed her up like, yeah, you know, Sam Jackson, Nick Fury, you man. Then there was the thing where she tells Yon-Rogg, I'm kind of done having you tell me what to do.
I'm kind of done with you telling me what I can't do.
Okay, did any of this bother me? No, I'm kind of secure in my masculinity, where that did not ruin my life. But I said I'd call it out, and so I did. But I loved this movie, right? There were a lot of redeemable things about, like the logo of Stan Lee showing up in the beginning. This movie had rewatch value. I watched it twice, seeing the Skrulls now from a babyface perspective. And Talos says at the end, you know, my hands are dirty with stuff too. He told Carol this. You know, I'm not innocent neither. But to see them as the good guys and look at Yon-Rogg as the bad guy, and even her team with Minerva, who I thought was kind of cool, was a bad girl, a bad guy. And I liked watching it. Like, replay value was there. The story of a superhero who was overpowered for the first time. It's just, wow. And the power is in the correct hands. That's awesome. I loved this. I didn't love the story, but I liked the story enough. 8 out of 10 for a reason, though. There were faults with it. And I'm going to go through it. And unlike other YouTubers, I'm not going to talk about Rotten Tomatoes and YouTube censorships. I'm not going to say SJW. This movie was SJW. Some joyful watching. This movie was cool, and I'm going to give it to you the way it's supposed to be given, in my opinion. Number one critique of it. They never call her Captain Marvel. What's the title of the movie? Number two critique of it. The Universal Translator was not working when she was talking to the Skrull refugees. But it did work. The one she's talking about when at Blockbuster where she knocks on the security guard. Oh, something's wrong with my Universal Translator. No, it worked. It just wasn't working for the Skrulls though. Yeah, miscommunication. Photon blasts are never explained to me. How she gets her powers isn't really explained neither. I don't know what photon is, okay? I don't know how the Kree know what it is because I didn't see any Kree with it. We know that she shot the battery of that spaceship and boom, okay. It absorbed by Carol, but it wasn't absorbed by Yon-Rogg. Why? Maybe the doctor who invented it is a Kree herself, so she maybe made it Kree-proof to save herself. That's why Yon-Rogg wasn't. These are things, excuses that I'm providing, and they didn't. This movie was very excuse-proof, with the fact that her powers, because she was learning them as the movie went on, it kind of keeps you from asking, well, why didn't they do it this way in the beginning? And when she could have done this the whole way. Well, that's because she was learning her powers. She was still trying to figure out things. And there's that scene where they handicapped her, which I enjoyed, where she had the gauntlets keeping her from using photon. I mean, I enjoyed it and everything, but there's a reason why it's not a 10, because I would have much more appreciated it if there was always a specific purpose for why she handled her enemies with this power here and not with this power. But you know, it kind of climaxed to the end where now she's just overpowered. We need Rogue to get in here and take half of her abilities lickety split. Another fault of the movie would be her running like a girl. Some people might put that as a pro, but I'm looking at it objectively. When you watch the sprinters, they don't run the way that Carol was running in this movie. But maybe some chicks are going to be like, oh, I identify with that. That she represents me, Captain Marvel. Either or, but I'm giving my opinion. 22 hours, 6 years. Why did I write that? Because that's a unit of measurement known to Earth, But when Jan Rog was speaking with Carol when she was in Blockbuster, the closest jump point is 22 hours from now. They wouldn't say that. The 365 cycle, that's how our world spins. And the day lasts 24 hours, minutes. That's how we speak. Aliens don't think that way. You guys have your own, aliens have their own unit of time. And 6 years, I guess Carol might have said it. Someone must have said 6 years, and that's why I put it in here. There were witnesses on the train during the fight with the Skrull. No, she didn't use her photon blast inside the train, but she used it above. But people saw the Skrull churning from a old lady into the dude with the red. He saw it. There's no Men in Black. There's no mind wiped. There's no reason for that. Now, next, the science guy for the Skrulls turned the Quadjet into a Quinjet, which could go to space. But I didn't see anything laying around in that house in Louisiana that he could have done those adjustments with. I mean, it's alien technology. Maybe in a capsule corp, he has this stuff here in his hand. All he has to do is press a button, it expands. They never explained that to me. And the science guy died also with 2 shots instead of 1. Jan Rog knows how to aim, knows how to kill, knows organs of an alien. I don't know why I took 1 shot in some scenes and 2 shots in this scene, just so we can get his last words. Fall. Kree spaceship hole. When Carol was upside down getting her mind wiped, I remember when she finally broke out, the Kree ship, the Skrull ship, had a hole in it, vacuum of space, oh, we're leaving. Her feet were still exposed. I know her mask kind of came on, but her feet were. Now maybe you can say, oh, you see, Chillmonger, we're foreshadowing the ability for her to survive in space. Maybe. So I guess I kind of debunked that one. But she went back and got her shoes like a girl. Kind of took it, my shoes. I mean, I would get my shoes back too. I wouldn't have done it like that. But does it bother me again? No, I'm just noticing it. I'm just identifying it like I promised I would. Like, this was a girl movie, man. Like, I'm just a girl playing. This was for the girls. Doesn't hurt. Doesn't mean it's not for the men. Like, there was no men bashing in this movie that I noticed. And if you did, people who do, I think they're reaching. Learning to fly. I wish I would have seen that scene happen. Where she's just falling and... Wait a minute, I stopped. Oh, I can fly? It's over. Like, I wish that happened. Han Solo in Star Wars Episode 8, after he died, they told Luke, yo, Han's dead. And they cut scenes away. And I kind of feel the same frustrations as I did there. I wanted to see the emotion of what Luke would have said. I wanted to see the emotion of, I can fly? I'm not flying, I'm flying. I'm not, like, I wanted to see something like that. That's a critical point in this, because no other superhero in Marvel flies. Oh, I hated the way Nick lost his eye. I feel like that's the studio not understanding their fan base. I needed something serious, something... Last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye. Although you fulfilled that prophecy, and yes, he trusted the cat, it scratched him, but he didn't react to it like, oh my god, it's the end of the world, my eye just lost. He just thought it was a scratch. And the Ben Mendelsohn's Skrull character said to him, no, meaning that maybe poisonous nails. I noticed that when Captain Marvel was flying, she punched Jan Rog's ship and the glass didn't shatter. And then the 3 Kree ships that she battled wasn't enough. They put too much in the trailer. And maybe this isn't a flaw of the movie, but the flaw in promoting and decisions made. Yeah, she kind of effortlessly touches the ship, and if she just touches one little bit, it all destroys itself. And we saw what we saw in the trailer, which was cool. There was 2 other ships, and I saw her kind of fly, and I hoped she would go to that ship on the right, but she stops and looks at Ronan, and he kind of skedaddles. But I really feel like there was more scenes where she would go to this ship, pow, 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 and maybe either this movie was shot in July. Maybe they said we didn't have enough time to edit that part of it and do all the CG, or yeah, that's in the plans. Let's stop it there. Don't air that part of it. Just show her getting that ship, because there's going to be something in Endgame, and we want to preserve and hold back what she was going to do over there. We'll show you what really happens and what she's made of in space in Endgame. And that's why there was like a center shot as Ronan left, and he kind of flew away. This ship also went away, but the center was on the middle ship still. If there were 2 ships, the center of the shot would have been right here, and the 2 ships would have been here. Comprende? Next thing was, it was unclear how her memory returned. We know that she called Monica Rambeau Lieutenant Trouble because she had a flashback. And Monica said, "Oh, you remember? Hey, the ketchup stain. Here's your jacket." But there was also at the end when Nick Fury was singing to her. She says, "Keep singing. It might jog back something in my memory." So, I don't know. Does she remember everything? Does she not? At least I know everything from 1989 when she was abducted. All her Kree life, she does remember that. And it'll be 2019. That's 24 roughly years of her having a memory. So it's not like she's gonna be a mindless person. She'll be Carol Danvers. She'll be a person in Endgame. But I'm not sure how much she knows. This jacket, which I mentioned, she gets it, and she goes to space, ready to leave. That jacket is not space durable, okay? It's not her Kree uniform. I don't know why it didn't freeze or whatever happens to jackets in space. End credit scene now. Alright, with that big boy score finally playing, with the violins, it showed me the difference in the scores. I mean, this is subjective, but I thought the score was just okay. It was okay. But man, once you hit Endgame and you give me that, that was better than this. So she kind of just shows up behind Black Widow as she turns around. Well, if you were there, how come I didn't see any gust of wind if you're really fast? All I know is, hey, look, Cap, it stopped beeping. And all of a sudden she was there 30 seconds later, less than 30 seconds. That means that she zipped by. I needed to see a hole in the wall where she came in, because she didn't just fly to Avengers headquarters, knock on the door, open it, and gently walk in. She rushed. And when she sees Steve Rogers, I mean, that's Captain America, 1995. She knows who that is. She should be surprised he's still alive, unless, she's communicating with Nick Fury throughout the years. That's still unclear. I hope in the new Captain Marvel movie, I hope that Monica Rambeau gets her powers, because they kind of alluded to it. They said, when you light up like your Auntie Carol, and her power is to manipulate light, when Monica Rambeau actually gets her powers. So I'm looking forward to that. It's too bad that the same actress won't get to portray her, because she did an amazing job in the new movie. I hope that, they could do what they did with Wonder Woman 84, where it'll also be a prequel. I just don't want that sequel to be a prequel. I want it to be like, Carol has been away in space the whole time, fighting battles for the little guy, and then she shows back up in Earth. Okay, I'm one of the Avengers now. She is the Avenger. She's the original Avenger, which I don't have a problem with. If you hated the movie and you hate Carol Danvers, then of course you're going to hate that the Avengers were named after her. Which, I told this to, I think K-Dot said, that's a YouTuber here, he said that calling her the first Avenger retcons the Captain America being the first Avenger. He's the first Avenger because he's the oldest guy who's on the team. He was born first, that's why he's the first Avenger. The namesake of the team is based on Carol Danvers. There was no contradiction of itself. Like I said, Pokemon. Bulbasaur is number 1 in the Pokédex. Arceus is the god Pokemon. He gets that status. Rhydon was the first Pokemon that the creators were making, so he could be the first Pokemon. Mew is said to be the ancestors of all Pokemon. Mew can be, you know what I mean? So I don't see the contradiction there. Like I said, I love the movie. I like the way that they use jokes. There's the joke Nick Fury makes about, everyone calls me Fury, I call my mom Fury, if I had kids they call me Fury, and in the elevator, the Skrull says, Nicholas. He goes, what? Oh, we're gonna go to the 5th floor and then we'll pencil them like we did in Nevada. Yeah. And he's like, okay, that's a Skrull. See how they used the joke to set it up? Ant-Man and Wasp was notorious for doing it. They did the thing with the daddy and daughter taking a slide in the house, and Scott Lang said, I'm the world's greatest grandma, means a lot to me. He had the Ant-Man suit underneath, but then she says, I have to take it to show and tell. I thought that was just a joke. Nah, that trophy came back because they have to go to the school, and so jokes meant something, and they progressed. And there weren't even that many jokes, which was great. I didn't need a comedic Guardians of the Galaxy. I needed some seriousness. Let me know who Carol is, which they did. She is a hard ass. Oh, Maria Rambeau gave it to her, told us exactly who she is. You are stubborn. She said, the hard part wasn't this. The hard part is 6 years of you being gone, the government acting like it never happened, and I knew that my best friend was too stubborn to die. That was emotional, man. Everything Maria said was emotional. The time where she tells her, you are Carol Danvers, and it ends with a hug. I liked how there was no romance in this movie. I like romance, but I didn't need a woman movie to have romance in it. my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of women are like, yes, right now. So go ahead and hit the like button. Is that the like button? Go ahead and hit the like button. Continuing though, another joke that was really, really good was when they said, you're the science guy. Back when they were joking about how he couldn't figure out that the secret ship was cloaked under orbit. That's my science guy, and everyone laughed in the theater. A second later, yeah, my science guy knows how to figure out how to create the ship and make it go over to space. It was there for a reason. And the other joke which I really liked, the other joke I liked was about the pager. She goes, Fury, you clearly can't be trusted with it. I laughed, it was funny. And then, you know, it changed possession, and now we know why it got updated and gave it back to him. I saw that scene, it played a purpose. And also, you know, why hasn't he called her all these years? Because he wouldn't want to be shamed and embarrassed the way he was there. He doesn't want to be a coward and call for every little thing. She saw him use the beeper incorrectly, so he knows the next time I use it, it's gotta be important. Meaning, in Avengers #1, hold in space, hell yeah, that's important. But he had a plan called the Avengers. And he had the nuclear missile, he had plan A, plan B. Age of Ultron, he had plan A, plan B. The Avengers were there, and plan B was himself. He had that shield helicarrier with the surprise attack. Plan C was Carol C. I'm not saying these were great explanations. I'm just saying they're explanation enough. I can see the flaw in it or why it wouldn't satisfy others, but I'm giving you my perspective, and it was okay enough for me. Plus, I know that when they started the Marvel Universe, they didn't know how successful this would be with 3 movies a year. They were still doing, I think the first year was 2 movies, and in 2009 there were no movies, 2010 had a movie. Like, if they would have known all this shit, we wouldn't have the problems we have with Spider-Man. We'd probably have the X-Men already. Like, I get it. I can understand why it took so long for Captain Marvel to show up. And knowing the real-life circumstances, I'm very fine dismissing sort of the flaws in time and things like that. The Tesseract stuff I probably could have done without, man. She gets her powers from the Tesseract, indirectly. Just like Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver did. Why? Don't know. We'll see Endgame. But if there's no really reason that ties to it, then I don't know. I don't know why. I know that Scarlet Witch could destroy the Mind Stone because her power was associated, so maybe Carol Danvers can destroy the Tesseract. Maybe Jane Foster can destroy the Reality Stone. No, she can't. That's something that needs to play out for me to see. Oh, there's something else in here. Nick Fury makes a joke when they were flying with Carol. He says, you know, where's Louisiana? You hit Memphis and you turn right. Just like in the Avengers, there was a scene where the power went out in the helicarrier. Is the sun coming out on the east? Then you turn right. Like, you know, that's the same character, some continuity with the character, which was really cool. I liked Nick Fury, seeing him and watching him straight up believe that there are aliens because he saw it with his own eyes. He believes his own eyes, and he's just like, okay, that's the way things are. Man, Carol Danvers did a great ass job. Brie Larson, did a good job. And that's a good sign, the fact that I just called Brie Larson Carol. That means that the characters being one and the same. We do it with Robert Downey and Tony Stark. She's not at that level. She's like at the Tom Holland Spider-Man level with me right now, where I'm calling the two the same character. She did fine just representing an individual who's strong. Fuck that woman empowerment shit. Just straight up, a person who says, when Yanrog was like, alright Carol, this is it. I've been talking to you about control. Now's the time to prove it. Pfft, you don't tell me about control. I fight on my terms. You don't ever make the rules on me. Man, I can relate to that as an individual. There was another point where she just kind of broke out. She beat 3 villains in this movie. The first one, Supreme Intelligence, better than Thor Ragnarok when he was the God of Thunder being electrocuted and controlled by Valkyrie. Weak. I liked how Carol just overpowered that thing. And as Captain Marvel, the Supreme Intelligence, as she was shooting at her, it was her just fighting back, and totally, it was the human side. The fact that I get back up, I'm a human, I can relate. That's what beat the Supreme Intelligence. I have to get back to Captain Marvel, that's a critique. And the second villain that they beat was Ronin, who kind of just, we'll be back for the weapon. He ain't come back, and he's dead now. Unless the sequel again happens in between 95 and 2014. I hope not. I hope the sequel just takes place in present time whenever the movie happens. And then Yanrog got deported with a message. So he'll be back for the sequel. With Captain Marvel. This is not a flaw, this is not a nitpick, this isn't anything wrong with MCU continuity. But I fundamentally disagree with the decision to take Marvel, Man, Walter Simpson, and turn her into a woman, Wendy. I don't get it. They never fought each other. I know with the ratings, you don't want to have a man hitting a woman. Sometimes there's purposes. No, all she did was shoot blue at him. The Supreme Intelligence could have been Marvel. Are we honoring our heroes or not? What did we do with Stanley in the beginning of the movie? Yeah, we want to promote and honor. This, I don't get it. If you know, comment section, please tell me why you thought this was a good idea to make Annette Bening act as the Supreme Intelligence, act as Marvel. Doesn't make sense to me. Just give me Marvel, please. Maybe it was to... No, there's no reason. There's really no reason. It's not to be a secret. Oh, we don't want to tell the fans what's happening in the movie. Just like, we're not going to tell you Jan Rog's character. I don't get it. I can't support it. It was just stupid. It was... There's nothing wrong with Marvel. Changing them into a woman, or changing them period, is just retarded and a half. There's a reason why this movie was 8 out of 10. And again, like, there was so much good that came to me. I enjoyed that thing. I kept asking myself, am I bored right now? No, I'm not. Like, this was a good-ass movie. And you could see Talos thinking of his family the whole time. When he gets on that cloaked ship, he sees the tennis ball on the floor and picks it up like, oh, my family. Makes when he made that noise on the ship, I was like, oh, he just crossed them. Oh, he didn't just cross them. It was kind of a cool bump on the road, but nothing too much of a swerve. There wasn't any change of direction, subvertation. What is that word Ryan Johnson says? There wasn't any subversions, but it was just kind of, all right, man, good storytelling. Always had me on my toes. Always thinking about Carol, and I love her powers, and I love that we got someone strong in the Avengers new movie. And in that scene when they're walking, I know Carol is leading the way. Carol Danvers is there. I love this character. I strongly adore this character, and I'm ready for her in the MCU. The name here is Chillmonger. To subscribe, you already know what to do. The videos surrounding the subscribe button are other YouTubers I could agree with who actually gave their opinion and told us why the movie was bad rather than focusing on the exteriors. Go ahead and give these guys all a watch. Strongly recommend. From Chillmonger, Canada forever.